on the scene, Dwayne and Janine, I'm bringing the facts, they know what I mean. Music comparisons, yeah, it's embarrassing. Up in the Ford, I feel like I'm Harrison. Back on the fast track, mighty and morphin' my name, Zach. Feel like a gentleman, top of my class, the legend, I'm feeling like 3 stacks. Hey, word to Aaliyah, taking it back and forth. I'm feeling so 1 in a million. I'm maybe like Travis McCoy, gym class hero, wanting a billion. Hey, Jay on the holiday.
I just want to say, you just said Nicki Minaj to 2010.
No, she did not take 2010.
Okay, she better not have.
Takes into the 20 as we're in the 2010s. I'm gonna speed through these. But 2010 they give Kanye West, Mark Dark, Twisted Fantasy, of course. Good. Reason why. Honorable mentions of that year. Somebody that you mentioned that you thought wasn't getting respect. Apparently in 2010 he got this respect finally. Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, and Eminem.
Okay.
So 2010 honorable mentions.
I'm not even going to elaborate, but 2 people they miss: Currency, Pilot Talk 2, and then number 2, my man Big Crit was here. Actually, 3 people. Number 3, Wiz Khalifa.
Oh my God, yeah,
that was that era.
Yeah,
literally
definitely that era.
Top 5 greatest mixtapes ever.
I was about to say you have to consider mixtapes in this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me, I'm with you on my boy Big Crit and all of them. That was that golden age era where you saw the who's up next kind of thing. But you know, again, when you're in the mainstream world, again, Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Eminem, all honorable mentions of 2010. Going on to 2011, guess who got it? You guessed it. None other than Derrick's other favorite rapper. You know, the rapper who's not a rapper and also a singer, Drake, ladies and gentlemen. 2011 because of Take Care. Non-album cuts like Club Paradise, Dreams Money Can Buy, guest spots like I'm on One, Tony Montana remix, and Round of Applause. Honorable mentions of 2011 go to another rapper that Chris was also wondering why hasn't he gotten his respect, Rick Ross, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. All honorable mentions of that year.
Man, we can finish this, but I say this with all due respect. We need to have a separate episode because 2011, like Return of Forever. Arguably Crit's greatest mixtape, like first and foremost. Secondly, Big Sean had his debut with Finally Famous.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then while we still talking about debuts and Finally Famous dropped in 11, Sideline Story dropped in 11 with J. Cole. And then past that, like
because you missed all his mixtapes prior to this.
Don't you worry.
No. Before
I can't let this in before we get to his opinion on that.
I thought we were still talking about debuts because Section 80 dropped in 2011.
That's what I was about to say, Kendrick.
And then Love the ASAP.
Well, this is true. All this is true.
Oh, bro, we need a separate episode.
So going into 2012, we going back to back. Ladies and gentlemen, we going back to back because do I need to say it anymore? Drake takes 2012 as the greatest rapper alive. And here's why: his credentials. 2011's Take Care, barrage of guest verses like Stay Scheming, No Lie, Amen, Pop That, Effing Problems. Even in an off year, they said this was an off year. Even in an off year, Drake was on one. Take Care dropped late 2011. Drizzy was able to ride excellent singles like Hell Yeah, Effing Right, Take Care, and The Motto in 2012, which made him a conscious. All right, honorable mentions for 2012. Are y'all ready? Here we go.
I'm gonna be too drunk.
Honorable mentions for 2012. A guy you said is still not getting his credit. Well, he's getting it now. Ricky Rose. Okay. 2 Chainz.
Okay.
And Kendrick Lamar.
I was about to say, Good Kid, Mad City came out late. You can't even do that.
Well, yeah, and that gets honorable mention though. So that's not even. Good Kid, Mad City gets honorable mention.
I mean, but we gotta be honest. God Forgives I Don't was nuts.
It was
production wise.
It was
like
it was.
Here's their explanation behind this too. We have no They said this. We have no knock against Kendrick Lamar, but we are obligated to point out that he was relatively quiet for most of 2012 before dropping Good Kid, Mad City. However, last year, more and more fans got hip to his stellar 2011 release, Section 80, which y'all said wasn't mentioned. Apparently, they mentioned it now. Still, most were left wondering if K-Dot could pull off a classic debut album.
If you were into
he did it twice.
Yeah. But if you were
Section
into
80
mixtapes,
oh man.
In fairness, I will say this. A lot of times there are rappers, not Kendrick, but there are rappers where their albums are nowhere near their mixtapes. So I could understand that.
yeah,
Albums are always different.
Literally, Kendrick, Cole, and Wale went on a crazy mixtape run.
So did Crit, because Crit was also
and Crit. Yeah.
So
But
I get it.
I mean, but what's so disrespectful about this list is you could tell what they don't dive into, because with this being the mixtape era, like mixtapes were popular, but I gotta say for a lot of mainstream people, when Drake dropped So Far Gone, it elevated mixtapes to another level.
It did.
Because I was listening to him prior to that, but like now you gotta consider Dreams and Nightmares. Or not, excuse me, that was an album, but you got to consider Dream Chasers too.
Yes.
Like besides Dream Chasers too, like man, you see like breakout stuff.
Yes.
And even though this like I've made it very well known, I am not a Future fan. I'm just not. He has some stuff that I like, but Future dropped Pluto. Like Pluto was a classic from Future. Like no matter which way you cut it, and I don't listen to it. I've never listened to it, but I've heard the singles from it. Pluto was a classic. Joey Badass came out. Like Chief Keef dropped Finally Rich. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Like really, what are we doing? Live from the Underground drops. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about bona fide wave making classics, and then Ye dropped Cruel Summer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, going into the year of 2013, this should be an interesting one. Well, the rapper they say that took the crown for best rapper alive in 2013, and I don't think Derrick's gonna like it, but he probably will respect it. Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 they said belonged to Kendrick Lamar. Because of 2012's Good Kid, Mad City, guest verses on A$AP Rocky's. Guest verses for A$AP Rocky, Millie Sunday, Young Jeezy, Jay-Z got on the remix for Don't Kill My Vibe. He spent most of 2012 crafting his masterful debut album before dropping it toward the end of the year. The release of Good Kid cemented Kendrick's status as the best rapper alive and earned comparisons to other legends who jump-started their careers with unforgettable major label debuts. It wasn't just a great album. It was a great conceptual album with a storyline throughout, a Herculean hip-hop
that came out the year prior. Nothing was the same. Born Sinner, Long Live A$AP.
Well, funny.
What are we talking about here?
Funny thing about that, I'm glad you said this. 2013's honorable mentions: Drake, 2 Chainz, Danny Brown.
What?
Notice what you just said.
That doesn't even make sense.
You just mentioned your guy. Now, wait a minute. Born Sinner, I know I'm not mistaken here, but that was arguably album of the year, was it not? Wasn't Born Sinner like? I
think
arguably
it might have been considered but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it may have been.
But it beat Yeezus.
Oh, for sure. He dropped it out the same day.
Yeezus wasn't like the greatest rap album. It was like experimental pop hop.
Yeah. No, he and J. Cole intentionally dropped it on the same day as Kanye.
And then, like, if we talking about 2013, like being straight up, like I remember where I was working, and I was in an area where there weren't a lot of black people and a lot of representation. So I actually had the physical copies of 3 CDs that they better have mentioned up on here. So I'm gonna let you say them before I go off.
Okay, well, as far as the 3 names they mentioned honorably for 2013, let's see. For Drake, once again, the throne is for the taking. His 3rd album is on the way, and songs like Started from the Bottom and 5 a.m. in Toronto show that he can still turn it on like a light switch whenever he fancies. At the other end of the spectrum is Danny Brown, who has little mainstream recognition, but has slowly built himself into a premier underground rapper. So they're acknowledging underground rappers, but didn't acknowledge the underground rappers before. Okay.
Yeah, you're like Nothing Was the Same is literally Drake's Thriller. That's his best album.
Fans continue to catch on to his 2011 album, XXX, and he keeps slaughtering guest spots. That's all Danny Brown, by the way. 2 Chainz is still riding high off the success of his debut album and newfound fame. The question remains is if he can maintain his momentum. They didn't even say what album it was.
They didn't even say it.
Whatever album he meant, I guess. Yeah.
Bro, this was stupid. This was stupid. Like Complex. I'm
wait. Did Magna Carta Holy Grail come out that year too?
Bro, we got albums even colder than that one that also dropped. So here's my list of, because oh man, I definitely feel the liquor in my legs. Because I can't take any more shots for like, all right, first off, while it wasn't his greatest album, it actually was a lot better than people thought. Hall of Fame by Big Sean, because it was right on that same wave of MMG and what they were doing. Secondly, while we talking about like supremely dope stuff, one of like literally my favorite rapper, my personal favorite rapper, Dom Kennedy dropped Get Home Safely, which I think is an absolutely beautiful album. And I even went to see that tour in New Orleans. Dom Kennedy is supremely overrated. I mean, excuse me, underrated. I'm sorry, Dom. Underrated. Let me never get that twisted. While I'm not the biggest fan of like his older work, Tyler, the Creator, dropped Wolf.
Yeah.
But moreover, while I was at the What Dreams May Come tour for J. Cole, who was fresh off the absolutely dope, astoundingly beautiful, slick, the greatest album he's dropped commercially put together in Born Sinner that came out in 2013. He had Wale as his opener, who was fresh off the supremely lyrical The Gifted. And then while we still talking about lyrics from Born Sinner and The Gifted, you know who opened up before Wale did for J. Cole? Vic Mensa, who was fresh off of Internet Tape.
Bro, Mac Miller dropped that year too.
Watching movies with the sound off. And this is all analogous to Chance the Rapper, who dropped Acid Rap. I was
just about to say Chance. Like,
just celebrated the 10-year anniversary.
They
missed so much stuff.
You can't. Yeah, Complex needs help.
Donald Glover Childish Gambino dropped because the internet.
Forgot about that. Yeah, which
like
was huge. That was an amazing project.
I was riding to work if I wasn't listening to 3005. You know what I'm saying? It was man. Like
I was listening to that album when I didn't even know who he was.
Bro, and then Pusha T dropped My Name. It's My Name. Like they put Danny Brown above My Name Is My Name. They put Danny Brown above The Illuminati, Runaway Love,
man.
Heaven's Afternoon.
Yeah, I don't know.
And this is no disrespect to like all the rappers that actually did good, because I don't think y'all stuff was trash in the slightest. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that like we got to be honest about it. Better is better, man. Y'all still liking y'all tears, but like, yo, we got to be G about it.
But why are we talking
about classic?
Why are we talking about an album a year later?
Well, in fairness to that too, sometimes you gotta consider when people drop certain times in a year. If you drop the album in say like November, holiday season, basically, Of course, that's automatically going to carry itself to the next year, depending on how classic it is, because
right.
no, it is still that year of whatever. It's the latter half, so you're automatically going to start. You're going to remember it, but you're going to more so remember it for the momentum it carries into the next year.
Right.
You
But
know,
when you're talking about the actual years, though, when you're going back and talking about the actual years, I don't care if it came out the year prior and it
that's
just
true.
got more popular the year after.
That's
There's
true.
movies. Halle Berry just had a movie. I forgot called The Help. I think it was called some call. It was like something.
The
With
call,
the call.
probably the call.
That came out 10 years ago, and it's now all of a sudden it's just starting to blow up on Netflix. So now, are we considering that 2002? I mean 2022. You see what I'm saying?
No, you're
Like
right.
you can't
I don't
do
know
that.
why that's just not blowing up.
You can't retroactively do that. If it came out in a specific year, even if it was toward the later end of the year or it was like in December, like I don't care. If it came out in that year, categorize it for that year. That's it. That's it. I don't care when it got its success or when it became very popular. When did it come out? 2002? I mean 2012? Cool. That's when you talk about 2012. Kendrick, I love Kendrick. And I agree he was one of the best ones that year. But we're not going to sit here and say that albums that actually came out in 2013 are. Come on. Come on.
Bro, they telling me that Bad by Wale wasn't the biggest single. Wale and Rihanna and Tierra Thomas.
Well,
Just go ahead, Dwayne.
hey, listen. Yeah, if you think that's something, I'm interested to see how y'all feel about 2014 because again, as I told Janine, I made this promise. I said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, 2014 goes to none other than the feisty, the shisty, the New York queen herself.
You said
yeah, I'm
feisty,
talking
right?
about. I'm talking about none other than Miss Nicki Minaj, ladies and gentlemen.
I ain't gonna hold you. No disrespect. It had to be a woman once you said feisty.
Oh yeah. 2014 goes to her because of none other than The Pink Print, a stream of remixes and Lucy's. First female rapper in 56 years to have four number one singles. So apparently she's the first female rapper to have four number one singles.
Hey, man.
On the Billboard's Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad, but hey man.
Oh, by the way, honorable mentions. Because I know you got your list, Chris. So your honorable mentions.
Boy, I gotta move fast with you because you don't want me to get drunk, and I appreciate that.
Oh no, yeah. Well, that, and also, as Derrick knows, we're a time constraint, so we gotta make sure we do this as quickly as possible here. Drake.
How?
What?
He didn't even wait.
Wait,
how?
wait,
what did he drop in 2014?
Wait. You're gonna love this. Young Thug. And you're really gonna love this. I see Derrick's face getting.
I tried to push my mic away.
Wait, guess who's the last one? Because I know Derrick's face is ready to pop. Killer Mike.
Well, hold on. Wait. No, come back. There, no. Killer Mike deserves more respect because he was with Run the Jewels.
No, he does. Absolutely.
Run the Jewels 2 dropped in 2014, so Killer Mike gets that.
No, I'm not mad, but come on.
No,
this is 14. This is
2014. Yeah. You and I both know it came out in 2014.
This is 14.
Yeah.
Because
Forest Hills Drive came out.
Exactly. They missed out on 2014.
You're not going to tell me that there was not. You're not going to tell me that Forest Hills Drive, bro. I love Killer Mike. I love Killer Mike. But come on.
I love the passion. Yes.
Come on now. It's literally called 2014 Forest Hills Drive. It's literally the year.
I mean, bro, my football coach, not my actual football coach, but the football coach of my absolutely lovely alma mater, Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi, located at 1400 J.R. Lynch Street, Jackson, Mississippi, 39216. He made this his anthem. My nigga by YG came out with My Crazy Life.
God, yo,
Like,
and
that's when
Oxymoron by Schoolboy Q came out too.
exactly.
Like, what are we talking about here?
Bro, Rick Ross dropped Mastermind.
Bro, what the hell are we talking about here?
Jeezy dropped Seen It All, and that album was nuts. Like the title track, Jay-Z probably delivered one of his like cleanest verses ever, man. And though she's gone completely off the deep end, I'm not gonna hold her in the slightest off of this, man. We got to give Azealia Banks love in 2014 for dropping Broke with Expensive Taste. Because
I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't listen to her.
So I was like a fan of Azealia Banks before she went like supremely off the deep end.
Talking about
like
eating dogs and stuff.
Bro, like she buried her cat and ate it. She talking about I want to sniff cocaine and get done in the rear, and I mean she's just super wild about it. But like prior to, I actually thought Azealia Banks had like the most promise out of artists like Lil Kim, Nicki Minaj,
Big Crit
and all
came
that.
out.
Yeah. Return correct forever was a mighty long time, wasn't that? Yeah, okay. But I mean,
I just wanted to show her that love because she dropped one of the coldest flows in songs, like I heard with the track Luxury, produced by Machine Drum. And Machine Drum absolutely laced that song because it was so cold. There was a remix version made with Nicki Minaj, and I'm sending it to y'all like when this is over. Like Luxury goes so hard because she had it on her mixtape Fantasy, and that's when like Azealia was showcasing like her whole bag. I'm talking about flows out the wazoo. She was singing. Like if you talk about somebody who could do it all, she was killing it. But again, for a guy that I don't really care for, Future dropped what is it, Honest, and he had Young Nigga Move That Dope.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, and Logic dropped Under Pressure. That album was nuts. Under Pressure.
See,
that got me through my first year of teaching.
Yeah, you had a lot of people. Yeah, that 2014, man. See, one thing about these 2010s lists is by now they should have understood that it wasn't just mainstream at this point. Like, internet was popping. Yes. So you knew about mixtapes, you knew about albums, you knew about everything. Like, it was blurred at this point because it was to the point where it was like, who listens to albums anymore? We listen to mixtapes.
Yes.
You know, while also listening to albums on the mainstream, cool, but yeah,
bro.
Let me explain the case of these honorable mentions and let y'all get there because I know Derrick's head is ready to pop. So hold on.
I'm literally tearing up right now. Like
I know, bro.
I'm listening. I'm gonna let you say these.
Okay, so it said while Nicki controlled the year with the buildup of her album, The Pink Print, her Young Money counterpart, Drake, did the same with nothing more than the OVO SoundCloud. Throughout the year, Drake would swoop in, drop a new song or several, and basically nothing else in hip-hop would matter for the next few days. Drake confidently enjoyed another year of his prime by effortlessly communicating success in his pearls with a candor and wit. Moving on to Young Thug. Young Thug went from a rapper to a watch out for. The guy who might have his career derailed before it could even begin to a full-blown star. As soon as 2013, songs like Danny Glover and Stoner cemented themselves as early 2014 anthems. Songs from 2013 that cemented as 2014 anthems. Complicated label issues threatened Thug's ascent. Thankfully, Birdman stepped in, Rich Gang was formed, and Thugger ruled the summer with his first top 40 hit, Lifestyle. Although Rich Gang's The Tour Part 1 is the full-length project to go along with all the buzz, it doesn't capture Thug in all his glory. Lifestyle isn't even on it. To understand Thugger's appeal, look no further than his verse on T.I.'s About the Money. The verse is much like Thug himself, wildly original and bursting with offbeat energy. Let's see. He didn't have radio hits, club anthems, or nearly as much output as the aforementioned artists, yet Killer Mike was one of the most important voices in hip hop. It's not that Mike was much better than a rapper this year than in years past. He's always been good. However, his stars finally aligned for critical darlings like Run the Jewels, thanks to lackluster major label rap releases. With the Black Lives Matter movement taking off with nationwide protests against the unjust system, Mike's furious delivery and intricate rhyme schemes became the soundtrack for a revolutionary mind state. So that's why they gave it to Killer Mike for 2014. I see Derrick getting very angry.
I don't care. Like, I get it, and Mike should have his respect. But when you're talking about like the albums that were actually big that year, that was not one of them. That's not one of them. You're talking about other projects way before you're talking about that one.
Not to mention, Drake shouldn't be qualified either for a SoundCloud.
He shouldn't even be talked about.
For a SoundCloud. Not even an album, a SoundCloud.
Side note, nigga, this pound cake busting.
I like that you're making Derrick laugh, because I feel the passion there. I'm a transition 2015. Speaking of which, gee, I wonder who took that year.
They're gonna probably give it to J. Cole because of 14.
Actually, no, they gave it to Drake.
The Pimple Butterfly came out.
Wait. Here's the credentials for that year. 2 #1 debuts. If you're reading this, it's too late. What a time to be alive with Future. First ever Grammy-nominated diss track in back-to-back. Hotline Bling, highest charting solo single, tied with Best I Ever Had. Launched OVO's SoundCloud radio on Beats One. Guest verses on Blessings, Where You At, Rico,
Big Sean
100.
Blessings. What are we talking about here?
The guest verse is better than Dark Side Paradise, clearly.
Drake, Hotline Bling. I get it. I get it.
I don't.
But who? No. I get the popularity. Okay, but who are the
honorable mentions for that year? So honorable mentions for the year of 2015 go to. Sorry,
stupid.
It goes to Future, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole.
How is Kendrick and
how does To Pimp a Butterfly, the first Pulitzer Prize winning album, not the rap album of the year? You are the first album to win a Pulitzer Prize, and you have an entire course at prestigious historical universities taught off of your album.
Mm-hmm.
But some nigga with a guest verse on another great album that wasn't even mentioned.
So
here's Sean should definitely be mentioned in this.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm sure Chris can agree as a Michigan native. I get it. Here's their reasoning behind these 3 selections. Let's see. Future took the stage on Jimmy Kimmel Live and performed Blow a Bag and Where You At. It was odd timing as the album the songs are featured on came out in July. The performance with a live band proved muddier than expected, but the audience surprisingly didn't mind or care and rapped every word back to him. The message couldn't have been any clearer. Future is once again a star, and all it took was a run that stretched back into 2014. Featured three exemplary mixtapes with his closest and best collaborators. A number one album that bested all of them, and another one off project with Drake that all but hushed any lingering doubts about his prolificacy. Future had become a monster just as he predicted. March Madness also was one of those around that time, as everybody remembers how big March Madness was.
And this is Future you're talking about.
Yeah, Future.
So what
Future.
a time to be alive. That was big.
Mm-hmm.
That was big.
Jumpman ran everything.
It did.
I'm about to read hold on,
how is
time down.
Kendrick an honorable mention?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. We're gonna get into that now. I'm back in 2014 here. So let's see. All right, let's get into these honorable mentions and explain Kendrick's side of things here for why they mentioned this. Let's see. That is 2014 still. Hold on, 2015. There we go. Okay, so all right. They're still reading Drake's. There we go. Okay. Let's see. The only rapper talked about as much as Drake or Future in 2015 was Kendrick Lamar. He followed up on his critically acclaimed major label debut with another critically acclaimed major label album. Much has been written about To Pimp a Butterfly, and the response to the album garnered from fans, critics, DJs, and other musicians. If TPAB wasn't the best rap album of the year, it's tough to argue that it wasn't the most important. It's perhaps the most ambitious rap album of the past half decade. No other album this year made us look into ourselves as deeply or as far outwardly. It questioned nearly everything: blackness, whiteness, religion, social responsibility, which has in turn made us question everything. The role of rappers, the role of rap music, respectively, politics, the role of music press, the idea that art can be at once great and distasteful. The album cast a shadow over the entire year, out of which came of 2015's brightest gems. All right. And then, okay, going to your guy, Mr. Cole here. Unlike the aforementioned three, J. Cole was rarely talked about this year. His third album, 2014, Forest Hills Drive, dropped in December of last year. There's that last year thing I was talking about. Despite failing to birth any singles as big as Born Sinner's Power Trip, it managed to sell 371,000 in its first week. Notching Cole his third number one album. Going into the new year, J. Cole embarked on a three-pronged global tour as headliner with Big Sean, Jeremiah, and YG in tow. Elsewhere in 2015, J. Cole hopped on the official remix to Janet Jackson's long-awaited comeback single.
Yes.
Was asked by A Tribe Called Quest to remix Can I Kick It? Finally previewed what an album with Kendrick might sound like by dropping twin freestyles on Black Friday. Yeah. Signed two new artists to his Dreamville imprint and released the label's second compilation album. To top it all off, he signed a deal with HBO to air a documentary about his momentous tour without dropping a solo project in 2015. Cole managed to make more moves than nearly everyone else, save for Drake.
So how is it that we're not talking about Cole in 2015 when it came out in 14, when they literally did that for maybe 4 different artists prior to this, where they retroactively gave it to them the next year, and Love Yours was one of his biggest hits. What are we talking about here? He didn't have any hits off the album. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Complex. We need to talk, man.
By the way, just so you know, as the rest of these years go along, that is the only time J. Cole is somewhat mentioned.
I am sure.
He is not mentioned at all the rest of this
Even
way.
though he went on the most ridiculous feature run.
2016.
No. Because man, I'm trying not to.
And Future came out with,
bro. He had What a Time to Be Alive, and he had Dirty Sprite too.
What do we like?
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, as a guy who is not a Future fan, I'm not so obtuse as to act like he didn't drop heat. No matter how I feel about his music or his lyrics, he dropped stuff that people responded to. And like, I got a list. Man, I feel like Eminem was like, here's a list. You know, here's the order it goes in. Like, all the stuff they missed for 2015. Wale, Album About Nothing. Logic, The Incredible True Story. Mac Miller dropped arguably like my second or actually at the time it was my second, but one of his top 5 albums with Good AM. No matter how you feel about it, it was influential. Young Thug dropped Barter 6.
Wiz Khalifa came out with See You Again.
And we talking about like not even just singles, but like albums.
Yeah.
The Game dropped Documentary 2.
Yeah.
And Documentary 2 got, man, Big Sean dropped Dark Sky Paradise, and Action Bronson probably had his biggest breakthrough with Mr. Wonderful.
Wasn't this the time Fetty Wap was like big too?
Getting to that point.
That's why I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about, man. And it's so annoying. Like, this is y'all job, and y'all not doing it right. And I'm calling y'all out on it.
Yeah.
Because you need to be better if you're going to be a writer, and you need to know more history, and you need to quit being so mainstream and actually know the genre, not what people that you don't care about are buying.
Mm-hmm.
Or who you think was most popular, because some of these people didn't even buy the greatest stuff, but it's still known, and y'all don't know it. How, bro? Or excuse me, how, bros?
2016, definitely.
Ooh, they about to mess up. I'm making my list now, and I'm gonna see if they're gonna do this right, because they not.
So just out of thought, because I know y'all gonna have y'all choices, but who do y'all really think dominated 2016?
Chance.
Oh my God, yeah.
Coloring Book. If it's not Coloring Book, then I'm not and it was so much dope stuff, but Color Book literally was so solid that it forced the Grammys to make a new category. The Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about something that's been alive for like 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
The Grammys had to make another category of all things for rap. The category they respect the absolute least.
Mm-hmm. Had no choice.
And this was without protest. It was because Coloring Book was that prolific that Apple had an exclusive release. It was that prolific that this man was streaming a mixtape. Work that is usually made freely available, he was making profit off of. And it was killing albums and sales.
And he's still making money off of the number 3 hat.
Exactly. Like, literally, he
made millions off of one hat.
Bro, it's every bit of Coloring Book. And I know they're not going to mention
they're going to give it to Drake.
Actually, no. You gentlemen actually got it right. 2016 was awarded to Chance the Rapper.
Wow. Really?
Wow.
How did they mess up like that?
They awarded 2016 to Chance the Rapper for that exact reason, Coloring Book. Let me see what the credentials were on that. Let's see, for 2016.
That was the year Life of Pablo came out too, right?
Yep.
That was huge.
Let's see. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, Coloring Book, Ultra Light Beam, live performances on Saturday Night Live and at the ESPYs, Magnificent Coloring Day Festival, staying independent. That's why they gave it to Chance the Rapper for 2016. Let's see. Honorable mentions of that year. Hear me out.
They're gonna mess this one up too.
Mm-hmm.
Q-Tip. Young Thug.
He deserves that one. He dropped Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
No, that's not fair.
Was that damn?
No, Untitled, Unmastered.
What?
Because of LeBron.
Because of LeBron.
What?
Hey, K-Dot, you need to drop that album of all these unreleased tracks. Send tweet, and then he dropped it. That's literally how that happened. And somehow that gets mentioned as the best year.
People don't even.
Thank you. It's
They
not
don't
even
even
a real album.
They don't even talk about it.
Exactly.
I mean,
Meanwhile,
it's good music. Like, don't get me wrong, but Big Sean,
bro, Isaiah Rashad dropped Son's Tirade. Like, you telling me Free Lunch? Like, free lunch was a monster. Like, Free Lunch, nigga. No Name dropped Telephone.
So,
even though I wasn't the greatest fan of this, Travis Scott dropped Birds in the Trap.
This is true.
And
well, as far as Q-Tip, when you're wondering why did he get this honorable mention of this year,
I love you.
It was because in '91 he rapped that job of Resurrectors is to wake up the dead. He delivered the line on the same verse on Jazz We've Got. So 25 years later at 46, he brought back the members of the Tribe Called Quest. I do remember Tribe Called Quest reuniting and coming out with an album. I remember it, but I wouldn't say it dominated the year, but I do remember that being a big thing at the time. And of course, during the process in March that year, the founding member, Phi Dog, passed away. And Tip and Jarabi, So I think that was kind of why they gave that nod to Q-Tip, because of the effort behind everything to do all of that.
But what was actually popping that year, though? Y'all remember Migos? Like, they dropped Bad and Bougie that year?
Yeah, Migos, which, by the way, I guess it's for some reason these groups are not getting mentioned, by the way, because again, Outkast,
that's the
Clips.
Thing. That's the dumbest
Migos.
thing. What do we have against groups?
Because Migos, by the way, did change the flow of flows by that point of when they came out. Like, literally every rapper started mocking their flows. Even though you can argue that they got their flows from other rappers, like a 3-6 Mafia.
That's fine.
But still, I guess on a mainstream level, they still revolutionized changing the flow and the confidence behind the flow. But yeah. Let's see. Talking most. Okay, Kendrick Lamar for that year didn't release career-defining work in 2016 like he did in 2015 and 2012, respectively. Instead, Untitled, Unmastered, as Chris mentioned, a rough collection of apparent studio leftovers, felt a piece with The Storm of Jazz and American Turmoil that produced Butterfly. Many of the songs were studio-cemented versions of live late-night performances. Many of those songs were brilliant. They left no doubt that Kendrick is one of the best rappers of the genre's history, but they didn't deepen his story or lead the listener down a new surprising path. Oh, elsewhere, he also contributed verses to songs from Beyonce, Danny Brown, Tribe Called Quest, The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Kanye West, DJ Khaled, Maroon 5, Sia, BJ the Chicago Kid, and Isaiah Rashad, among others of those really dope Goosebumps, No Parties in LA, Holy Key, and What's Wrong were most deserving of praise, but none felt essential. It's hard to imagine that he performed any of them during a show of his own 5 years. As far as Young Thug, he may never be the best rapper alive, as they say, for as long as he raps, but that's in keeping with his artistic mission. Unlike Kendrick Lamar, who raps at a scholarly level, armed with history and precedent, Thug raps to complicate the act itself. What he does under the banner of hip hop, toying with the song structure, exploding his voice, prompts critics to listeners to coin words and subgenres. Still in 2016, he released some of his most streamlined projects like Slime Season 3 and Jeffrey in particular. Also songs with them, Drippin', Webby, Kanye West, and Pick Up the Phone. I do remember Pick Up the Phone being big, but that's neither here nor there.
Let's just move on to the next year.
Okay. 20.
I'm gonna tell you now, bro. 2017, I know they messed all the way up.
2017. Ladies and gentlemen, you guessed it. None other than
They've been
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Okay.
I can go. Yes, because Damn is
that's when
fired.
Damn came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say there's an arguable, and I know they're not gonna mention it too. And I wish Janine was here.
Well, let's see, because the honorable mention goes to you got Jay-Z.
Fair. That was 444.
444 was good. Yeah.
Future.
Hendrix. I'll give him that.
And Cardi B.
No. Well,
I'm
hold
not
on.
mad at that.
Hold on. I thought Cardi B dropped in 18.
Bodak Yellow.
Bro.
Wait, we're going singles now?
Bro, okay.
Well, it says, of course, that would be nothing without good music. Wait, hold on.
I know I wasn't tripping.
A real jump that amounted to more than a flash in the pan attention is a risky and probable one. Cardi B has made it sure-footed thanks to a concentrated 3-minute and 44-second long distillation of her appeal called Bodak Yellow. It was a breakout hit, unescapable in New York for the entirety of the summer, eventually reaching #1 on the Billboard charts and unseating Taylor Swift on its way, because that was a big thing apparently.
Wait, hold on. We're mentioning Cardi B for Bodak Yellow and for unseating Taylor Swift. Is that what you just said?
Hold on. But this is what's so disrespectful.
This is hip hop.
What
are we talking about Taylor Swift for?
Bro, it's the simple fact that Bodak Yellow made it. And they're not even mentioning Kodak. Like, I don't care how you feel about Kodak. She bit off Kodak's beats and flow and style to make a song, and you're giving her this, where she took a song that she has to pay another man for.
This is basically
all because she unseated Taylor Swift.
This is basically a cover that she made. Now, Invasion of Privacy.
Kanye unseated Taylor Swift without a single. He just walked on stage.
Invasion of Privacy, if you're talking about that, which was 18, that's different. Every track I think went platinum. So
yeah, I knew that was gonna win a Grammy.
Yeah, I can understand that. We're talking about Bodak Yellow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dwayne, I want to hear the honorable mentions because I've been trying to get ahead of you, and I have a list.
Yeah, hey, you good, man. You talking about for 2017 or 2018?
I got a list for 2017. I'm gonna work on 2018 because I've given up on Complex's.
Okay, that makes sense. As far as 2017, yeah, their honorable mentions, like I said, was Jay-Z, Cardi B, and Future.
That's so disrespectful, man. Because Layla's Wisdom from Rhapsody.
Oh my
That's
God.
The one I was thinking was like, yo, if you don't mention Kendrick, then it had to be Layla's Wisdom.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love 444, I think that took it for some people because Jay-Z actually was vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And you got to think about it, right? Jay-Z's been rapping since like 87. Mm-hmm. He didn't hit his like biggest of breaks until 96. So cool. Started 96. He dropped 444 in 2017, bro. We talking about a whole 21 years past his biggest break.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, let's say he started rapping like, you know what I'm saying, at 20 or whatever. Like, you gotta think about the age that he's at now. He's vulnerable. He's looked back at a lot of life. He's got kids. He's got a relationship with like arguably the biggest star on the planet. Like, it makes sense. But am I going to put that above Layla's Wisdom? No. And then like literally, I think one of the most sonically dope albums to come out since Smino came out with Black Swan.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Netflix and Duce, bro, Anita, Wild Irish Rose. Like, Black Swan was so nuts.
Because Tyler the Creator came out Flower Boy.
Flower Boy. And bro, to this day, I still blump Glitter.
What do we like?
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, they miss Flower Boy, Layla's Wisdom, Forever is a Mighty Long Time by Crit, Wins and Losses by Meek. Like, whether you
All
like
American Badass by Joey Badass.
Love is Rage by Uzi. Pretty Girls Love Trap by 2 Chainz. Migos Drop Culture. Yeah. Well, and they said Future and honorable mentions, but Migos had Drop Culture.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's like what we doing, man? Like for real, what we doing?
And speaking of what we doing, I believe I mentioned this earlier. 2018. 2018 goes to none other than Pusha T.
Hold on, let me see who was in 2018.
And the credentials of that.
No.
Oh, I can't do that.
Nipsey
I can't
Hussle,
do that. I love Pusha, but no.
Nipsey came out with Victory Lap. How?
Best rap album Grammy nomination for Daytona. Complex's best album. Oh, that's favoritism. Complex's best album of 2018. And the story of, as you know, that one, that, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on now.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on. Nas dropped that year. Nipsey dropped that year.
It was so much heat.
Wait. Hold on. Kendrick came out with that Black Panther album.
Yep.
That was huge. Astro World.
Oh, you know what? I lied, Derrick. I lied. Your boy is mentioned one more time.
For KOD.
J. Cole, Drake, and Travis Scott are in the honorable mentions for 2018. 2018 will be remembered as the year J. Cole took control of his own narrative. When the year began, teenagers at SoundCloud rap shows were still yelling F J. Cole and making memes about his laundry rhymes. Then he dropped the most mature and complete work to date, K.O.D., an album that found Cole sharpening his pen while transitioning to the big homie phase of his career. A month later, he sat down for a conversation with Lil Pump, earning back some respect from the genre's youngest stars and quieting those F. J. Cole chants. I do kind of remember when those Gen Zers were kind of like F. Cole. I do kind of remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that little phase.
But like the Carters was also like that year too. J-Rock, Lil Wayne, even though I know people didn't really care about the Carter 5 like that, it was still a good album. Royce da 5'9",
Book of Ryan,
Culture 2, Championships for Meek Mill.
Bro, and you still missing Swimming by Mac Miller, Redemption by J-Rock. Again, I actually think Astroworld might have been the best album of 2018, despite me understanding that Cardi B was going to win it, because Invasion of Privacy actually was a really solid album. I'm not going to hold that.
It was really good.
I just felt that Astro World deserved it a little bit more. Kind of like I feel like Jokic deserves it a little bit more than Embiid, but it's neither here or there. 21 Savage followed up from 2017 and dropped I Am is greater than I was.
Yeah.
Like, what we doing? And let me read off my extensively long list of stuff that they missed. Or I'm sorry, I don't think you missed the honorable mentions, did you?
No, I did. It was
He did.
Kendrick, Drake,
Oh yeah,
and Travis Scott. Or I'm sorry, J. Cole, Drake, and Travis Scott, not Kendrick. J. Cole,
it's
Drake,
so
and Travis
inconclusive.
Scott.
I just be getting pissed.
They said 2018 was a disappointing year for Drake, but he's still in here.
It was. And
because they said he came out swinging with back-to-back #1 singles like "Nice for What" and "God's Plan."
And
then he poked the bear.
Scorpion.
Yeah, and then he poked the bear with Pusha T, by the way, which, yeah.
He came out swinging against paternity tests. That's about it.
Which then Scorpion, as you mentioned, is what he countered with that. So
Scorpion wasn't even. It was disappointing because of the narrative.
Hey man, I'm not even gonna hold you, and I'm calling other folks out on this. Y'all treat Drake like y'all treat LeBron, and they get credit that they don't deserve just because of what they've accomplished.
Oh, the sicko mode too, by the way, which ties in with Travis Scott with the Astral World.
We'll see, and that's the thing.
That's
though,
why Travis did it.
Yeah.
That's
Scorpion.
Travis, man.
Scorpion was just okay on its own. It wasn't like. It was okay, but coming off the momentum that he had with those tracks prior to, we thought we were getting old Drake, right? Mixtape Drake. That's what we thought we were getting, and then we just got almost like an ensemble of tracks. Like it didn't even make sense. So it was disappointing, but the album itself just isn't one of those albums that I revisit. I listen to it, I'm good. There's some good tracks on it. There are good singles on there, but as a project itself, it's not that good.
No, I mean, and we still didn't give any love to Brockhampton, who dropped Iridescence. We're not giving any love to Buddy, who dropped Hardland and Alondra. Like,
and wasn't that album the Carters? Wasn't that the album that Beyonce rapped
Lion
on?
King or something? Yeah. That was so sad.
No, she did a good job for Beyonce.
Okay.
She killed that.
Well, here's my thing, and I'm sorry that I didn't agree with you because I messed up your point. So Beyonce, I think she did. I think it's the fact that people weren't used to her rapping, that she kind of got like a little more leeway than she should have. But if you're gonna rap, then I don't think that you should do it as some like, good job, baby. Hey man,
I agree with that.
Used to speech.
I agree with that. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
It's like if you're gonna do it, you've been around it long enough that even if you just rap your favorite song on the radio, you should have an understanding on how to deliver.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
But they just, man, they fumbled on that. Oh man, and even though nobody cared about the album, like what we not gonna do is act like Sheck West did not have the greatest 2018 with Mo Bamba.
Oh my God, yeah.
We wasn't even looking for Mo Bamba on the court.
Yeah, nah.
Like, we go be honest, we was not looking for Mo Bamba on the court.
Even now.
We still not.
You still not.
Name is only popular because of Sheck West.
It is.
Like, if you're talking about a friend for real.
And also Eminem dropped Kamikaze.
He did, which actually has some cuts on it though.
It was there was some good tracks on there. But
Logic dropped everybody.
Jit dropped DiCaprio too, which I don't think that a lot of people talk about that album as a whole. That is an amazing album,
man. Hey, shoot, Lupe dropped Droga's Wave.
Yeah, like those are honorable mentions. You see what I'm saying? Like those are honorable mentions.
You can tell by this point because this is where singles were a thing and albums weren't starting to matter anymore.
That's the problem.
As this list progresses, because in 2019, you guessed it, the Baby takes it with Baby on Baby and Kirk as the credentials. The honorable mentions there is Young Thug, Benny the Butcher, and Freddie Gibbs.
Even though Tyler the Creator came out with Igor.
Right. He dropped Igor.
Young Thug dropped So Much Fun.
So Much Fun. Yeah, I was just looking at that. Corday dropped Lost Boys. West Side.
Roddy Ricch.
West Side Boogie dropped Everything for Sale.
What are we doing here?
By the way, just a thought here. Let me just look at 2020 for a second.
Wally dropped Wow, that's
Young
crazy.
Boy too.
So yeah, Young Boy.
The plugs I met from Benny.
Correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, Nipsey's still not being mentioned here.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't even make sense.
Kind of died around this point, and nobody mentions.
Like did he not get a Grammy for Victory Lap?
Doesn't matter.
Did he not get a Grammy for Victory Lap?
What did Post Malone have to say about this?
Oh yeah, he's not mentioned in any of these either, by the way. So yeah. Here's another name that's not mentioned for some reason because he's not even mentioned in 2020. Pop Smoke is not mentioned anywhere. Not one place. We're in the modern era now, people. This is like present day.
2020, right? Who
2020. 2020, they gave to Lil Baby, not Da Baby. They gave it to Lil Baby for the reasons.
2020?
My Turn.
Credentials is the most consumed album of 2020. My Turn, a 2-time Grammy-nominated single, The Bigger Picture. And your honorable mentions of 2020, which is the pandemic year, need I mind you, where we actually got to listen to music in fullness. Freddie Gibbs, Lil Uzi Vert, and Benny the Butcher.
So Freddie deserves to be up there. Nas dropped King's Disease. Shout out to Juice WRLD's Posthumous, Legends Never Die.
Extinction Level Event 2 came out. Busta Rhymes.
Man. Savage Mode 2 from 21 Savage. Oh, No Pressure from Logic. Man.
Oh my God.
But yeah. Spillage from Spillage Village.
Circus
Hold on,
from Mac
speaking
Miller.
of which, hold on, bro. We completely missed what was that? Was that 2019? We didn't even include Dreamville.
Bro, wasn't that? Yeah. That was
bro.
That was Revenge of the Dreamers
yes.
3.
Yes.
Yeah.
But shoot, even in 2020, man, I remember faithfully. Yes, there was a bit of bias because the day this album dropped, I went and picked up a Michigan-made Verner's Ginger Ale, a Little Caesars, and a Faygo. But when Detroit 2 came out, I was lit.
Detroit
Big
2
Sean
is
gave
amazing,
us one.
man.
Big Sean gave us one, bro.
Detroit 2 is amazing. I don't even think that's one of those albums that I don't even think a lot of people mention as much as they should.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, Music to Be Murdered by Eminem, not on my Detroit wave, but Music to Be Murdered by M was spitting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that it's M and they was like moving past it, but M was spitting, man.
Yeah.
And then
but Busta Rhymes came out with Extinction Level Event 2. I think that was one of the bigger albums that year as well.
Yeah.
That was
no, and then like I had mentioned to y'all earlier, Blue in Exile They dropped in 2020. It was Miles. That was the name of the one I forgot. Miles, because Blue is actually an astute like listener of music, and so a lot of Miles sampled jazz, especially like bebop, anything from like between the 40s through the 60s. Miles was nuts. And again, you talking about somebody that a lot of people don't know. It wasn't like no commercial gimmick. I just happened to stumble upon this dude, fell in love with his music, and followed like what he put out. And years later, from '07 when he dropped his debut to 2020, he still had a banger with Exile. Period. Like,
And the last, we come to the final year because this year does not count, seeing as how we are still in the midst of this one. Therefore, the final year in this list would be 2021.
they gonna fumble this one.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? 2021 is awarded to, keep in mind, this is also Best Rapper Alive, by the way. 2021 was awarded to none other than Tyler, the Creator. Credentials.
I'm mad at that.
Call me if you get lost. Honorable mentions of that year go to Kanye West, Mac Hami, and J. Cole.
Nope, they disrespectful. They're disrespectful.
King's
no
Disease
disrespect
2 was amazing as well.
Bro,
the off season, I'm yes, personally to me that was if that's not the best album of the year, it's definitely 2. But Baby Keem doesn't even get mentioned.
Not at all.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a big fan of Baby Keem, man. I think,
but like you said, it doesn't
but
matter.
You had that.
You are a fan of it. It's the.
But he did.
You did get Kendrick out of hiding, by the way, because at that point Kendrick was quiet. Kendrick had been quiet, and you got him to rap twice.
Hey, because help me launch my rap career. Top of the morning.
Yeah,
you right.
Yeah.
But like, man, we still missing. Wait, who you said the honorable mentions was Ye, Cole, and who?
Mac Hami.
So I think Donda was.
I don't even know who that is.
Slick, one of the albums of the year.
It definitely was.
Donda was fire.
Ironically,
Certified Lover Boy.
Ironically, surprisingly, Drake is not on that list, which proves Derrick's point about Drake and his albums. If he didn't get mentioned last year and he dropped Certified Lover Boy, that means has he fallen off, Derrick?
Yes.
And you mentioned the decline way back when, but at least what was that?
15 for me.
Yeah.
He hasn't come out to me. I'll say before Certified Lover Boy came out, he had not come out with anything that was worthwhile, like listen to from start to finish since 2015. Certified Lover Boy, I think went back into the realm of I can listen to this album. Some tracks I'm going to likely skip, but for the most part, the album was really good. I agree. Donda definitely should. These two should be mentioned just because of the buzz they got from battling each other. That like off that alone. Off that alone, those two should be the ones that are mentioned for sure. But projects in general, again, we're talking about people that aren't listening to albums now, right? So if we're not going to go off of albums, are we just going off of top singles? And if we're talking about top singles, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the popularity? Are we talking about the streams? Are we talking about like Billboard charts? Like what are we talking about here?
True, because Way Too Sexy was seemingly
Way Too Sexy
overplayed
was
further
going like that was on for almost, it felt like it was like 2 months straight. I was hearing that everywhere.
everywhere.
I'm gonna give Kawhi credit for that. That was
Okay.
a joke. That was a joke.
Okay. I
That was a joke.
I
But I
forgot he was
mean,
in a music video.
yeah.
But but I don't know what we're talking about here anymore.
I
I
Me
really
mean,
either,
don't.
because it doesn't seem to age well in terms of not going off the transitions of times between
Yeah.
CDs when albums were a thing. And this is going back to the 70s, the late
And Nas
70s.
Nas dropped another album. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, Nas hasn't been mentioned, I believe, since
and I'm sorry,
2000
DMX's
something.
album came out as well. They came out after his death. But Falarin 2 with Wale. What are we talking about that? That was a fire album. That was a
For the
fire
record,
album.
there wasn't a single Wale project mentioned on this entire list
There's bias.
at
There's
all.
clear bias against complete albums, against specific artists. There's
Mhm.
bias. And I'm sorry, also mixtapes. You're not talking about the mixtapes. And honestly, one who's really a dark horse for last year too was Big Sean. Big Sean came out with a 6-track album. That was his first, not with good music.
I mean,
That was fire. 6 tracks,
bro,
but it was fire.
I pretty much quit trusting them on Big Sean because they missed Detroit too. In 2017, they missed I Decided, which was nuts. They just not looking for one
They're not. They're not. There's a complete bias, and
because
if they're not ready to admit that, then that's cool. But I'm sorry. Also, I don't care how you feel about him. Lil Nas X came out with
Montero.
Montero. Like, that was huge. He had a great rollout, whether you liked it or not, whether you
He
agreed with it or
definitely
not.
had you talking about it.
He had you talking about him. Lil Nas X deserves respect with that.
Yeah, man,
But
but
nobody would consider him as a rapper. They'll consider
but
him more on the
it's
pop
too
side.
out. And that,
But
well,
but they're
and
they're
that one I
obviously talking about
feel.
pop. They're obviously talking about pop. They're obviously talking about pop. So pop is just popular music, right? So if we're gonna go into that lane, it's not just hip hop.
But
So
see,
if you're gonna go into that lane,
I'm
Silk
so
Sonic,
glad.
Silk Sonic was one of the better albums too.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm
Like,
so glad you said that. That ties back into my Ja Rule point then, because they mentioned a lot of pop music. That's
you
like
can't mention pop music and just talk about pop as in pop rap.
Mhm.
It's pop was popular, and they're obviously going off popularity.
It's
So
inconceivable.
it can't just be rap. If you're going to talk about rap, talk about rap, talk about hip hop, but leave the pop out of it, because pop encompasses multiple genres.
I'm still blown that Pop Smoke
Oh,
is nowhere in here.
who should have been in that?
How do you not have Pop Smoke? How do you not have Nipsey? Like,
Because I ain't gonna hold y'all. From the West Side with Love 3 from Dom Kennedy,
Mm,
fire,
yeah,
absolute fire. Does not get enough credit in the slightest. And I hate it for guys like Dom Kennedy who are mainstream but clearly not mainstream enough. Of
mm,
course, like you said, for Lauren too, poke it out.
oh my god.
Nuts. Um, but I think the biggest omission on here, um, this is so disappointing, bro. Isaiah Rashad deserves
He
all of the
does.
flowers for The House is Burning.
Yeah,
I
he
mm.
actually
does.
think The House is Burning was the best rap album of 2021. However, I knew that Tyler the Creator was likely going to win it because he had like a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
He had DJ Drama, and he really did do a great job.
yeah.
Again, this is one of those where it's like you got to split hairs when you talk about people on this level. But
Mm-hmm.
like, it's so many folks who don't get like the love or credit they deserve for tracks they've dropped. I mean, albums they've dropped. Because like 2020, Ray Khalil, for anybody who watched um Rhythm and Flow on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Khalil's album is fire. Fire, bro. It dropped in 2020. Called For the World. Like, yo, Ray Khalil gave us one, man. She don't get no love.
Not to mention D Smoke.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, D Smoke, man, it dropped couple back to back. Man, in no point in time, one of who I've seen grown to be one of the biggest underground artists, who's not necessarily underground. He just has like an underground feel to him. Larry June. How do you not mention Larry June in the last 4 or 5 years?
Mm.
Like, you talking
Yeah.
about an Atlanta guy who lives in the Bay Area and has successfully mixed the styles of being from the South with his twang and the Bay with his delivery,
Mm-hmm.
with like just lush all around production, just smooth in the pocket, talking real life rap, reality rap, as some might say. You
Mm.
don't mention like him with none of this.
Yeah, that's why I said in the
I
beginning, like their criteria needs to be put out, and honestly, it almost feels as if we should come out with our own list because I'm not I'm not understanding what the criteria is. Again,
Yeah.
they're switching their criteria year to year.
Mm-hmm.
1 year is based off of popularity, the other year is based off sales. You
Mm-hmm.
can't do that. It's either it's all based on sales
Mm-hmm.
or it's all based on popularity,
Mm-hmm.
like, or
Mhm.
it's based off lyricism, or
Yeah.
it's based off of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
You can't move the goalpost year to year as to saying which one is the best for this year because you like this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
This literally sounds, and I don't mean to be critical of was Gen Z. I don't mean to be critical, but it literally sounds as if this is a room full of Gen Z kids that just decided to throw out a list and base off what they wanted to base it off of. They Googled
Mm-hmm.
names from year to year and said, okay, these are okay, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll put them there. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going off artistry. And if you're not going to go off artistry, you shouldn't even make the list.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
No.
And
Cause so much stuff I forgot, bro. Looking back at Smino, he dropped a fire
Spino, bro.
joint in 2018.
yeah. And see, like, if we're going territorial too, I believe it was 2005, 6, or 7. One of those years was dominated by the state of Texas alone.
Yeah.
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 Lil Flip,
05,
Mike Jones,
Paul Wall.
Chameleonaire, Paul Wall, the whole state of Texas
Mm-hmm.
literally was all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
And again, if
You
you're
know,
going to go off popularity, how is Meg The Stallion not even discussed? How is she not an honorable mention? If this is popularity.
Because they don't know what they
it's true.
want, man. Because
That's true.
popularity alone for 2017, as much as Kendrick deserved it for his prowess, 2017 belonged to T Grizzly.
Not mad at that. I'm not
Bro
mad at that.
literally got out of jail, dropped a song, and lit the entire US up.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not mad at
T
that.
Grizzly ain't like T Grizzly is cool. He's dropped like some decent stuff. Like, I have listened to his albums, but like this dude literally like got out of jail and dropped a track, and that's why he blew up. Made a summer anthem, and people treat First Day Out like they do Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
we got to
yeah,
be honest about like
yeah,
if we talk about popularity,
yeah.
That's what he's on, man.
Which again, you talking about jail? Meek Mill got out of jail and dropped championships. What was that? 18,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was after after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, right? Which is like the whole reason why he dropped that
Ooh.
too.
And I don't know why I kept forgetting to say this for 2019, because this is why because I know like we got like out of time limit, but like it's so much stuff that got glossed, bro. 2019, Brockhampton dropped Ginger. Like we can't skip like this stuff.
Yeah,
I honestly think that back in 2016, one of the best rap albums that came out was Deontay Hitchcock. We good.
bro.
Good
No
was
one
nuts.
talks about Deontay, man.
Deontay was nuts with that, bro. And quite frankly, you've heard me argue this on multiple occasions about who I
Mm-hmm.
think is my favorite artist on Dreamville and who's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Boz dropped Too High to
Boz,
Riot in
bro.
2016. And then in 2018, he followed up with Milky Way.
Milky Way. Yeah.
Like,
But see, that's why I brought up Jid. And then you also, well, I'm not Ari's a singer, but
no,
yeah,
but that's the thing.
but that's
Like
popularity too, because I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what we're discussing here. Complex
Hmm.
Complex has made this complex.
Yeah.
man, we just need to go ahead and bring it back on our own, so we ain't gotta like rush through it. You know, if it's too long, split it into two
Oh,
episodes.
this is gonna get split into 2 episodes for sure.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
all. Like, 'cause I want
yeah.
to take some more time on this because it's like we miss
Mm-hmm.
some people that I don't think get enough love because again they weren't mainstream enough,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they got glossed. Because again, I think really 2016 belonged to Deontay Hitchcock or Boz in terms of like the albums
Hmm.
outside of Coloring Book.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think Coloring
yeah.
Book was
Milky Way.
literally a yeah color. Well, Milky Way was 18, but like
18.
16, yeah, 16. We gave to Coloring Book.
Right.
You know
However,
what? I can't forget my boy Childish Gambino with some of these albums because Awaken My Love was out
Yo,
one of
yeah,
those
but
years.
yeah, but what do we like
Awaken My
again?
Love wasn't really rap though.
It was well, see, that's the thing. Were we talking about popularity or were we talking about rap?
Yeah, because he's a rapper. Even if that album wasn't rap, he's a rapper. You know, I don't know how Speaker Box and Love Below didn't get mentioned anywhere somehow.
You said how who?
Speaker Box and Love Below didn't get mentioned somehow.
Oh, back in
Like,
'03. Yeah.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like, these are the
well,
things I'm trying to understand. Like,
they didn't mention it because we got to be honest. They called themselves out on this. Andre 3000 wasn't rapping. Big Boy
Yes.
was.
Yes.
So when you want to
And
mention Andre 3000 as the rapper, it's like surprise you contradicted yourself because Big Boy was the only one rapping with Speaker Box. The Love Below was straight R&B and
yeah,
pop.
yeah. And I'm gonna be completely honest. I
except
think
for Life of Benjamin, because that was straight bars.
But you talking about like one song on a whole album though? Like,
Well, true, but it's just the
yeah, but
fact
I
of,
feel you though.
you know,
I think
Valentine's Day he rapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, he rapped on it, but
yeah. I
he
think
just
what
went different ways.
I think what Complex did was discredit them discredited themselves
Yeah.
as a publication to disperse information on music. I that's what this list actually tells me. And I don't mean to come at them so hard, but you have to be held accountable for what you just did.
Call them out.
You have to be held accountable for this because you can't call yourselves uh uh, uh which honestly, if Joe Budden was still there, I'm pretty sure this list will look totally different.
But it goes back to what you said, bro. And I want to modify it about the Gen Zers because I think one of the biggest things is that people just care about popularity. They care about numbers, and then of course the biggest thing is people are like analytics, analytics, and it's like, yo, analytics matter, but we put so much stock into analytics, we actually don't appreciate the art.
Right.
And so when it all comes down to it, I'm not giving somebody credit on the art just because they did something different. Like it has to be good too. So no, I don't think like Young Thug is going to get the credit, nor does he deserve the credit, quote unquote, as some innovator of sorts. Because even if people did copy Young Thug's style, the reality is like everybody who copies that style doesn't make it. Because quite honestly, his style is trash.
Yeah, yeah.
But Young Thug being the originator of it is going to allow him to be at the forefront because I can stomach one, even if I can't stomach 20. But past that is like if you're gonna be like different or creative, like make it worth our while. Make it good. Make it something that we can remember. Make it something that's long lasting. Make it something worth listening to, appreciating, spending my hard earned free time on.
Yeah.
Because the way we talk about stuff in America, and this is not even getting onto a whole nother subject, but the way like work is set up, we live in, we be tired, bro. Like if I want to relax and listen to some music, like be good. Like, bro, I'm not about to listen to 40 minutes of that. Your
Right.
beats might be fire, but I'm not about to listen to that. I
Right.
can go
Right.
outside and listen to my car hit a pothole for that.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. Uh yeah. Complex, y'all gotta do
So,
better, man. Y'all gotta do better. This is this 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 is actually pathetic.
No, it's sad, bro.
This is actually pathetic. And which makes me even question what they did prior to 95.
which, by the way, Tretch, yet another duo. It's just
Yeah.
naughty by nature,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. But
just
the
mention
fact that
Tretch.
Missy Elliott didn't get mentioned at all.
Ludacris, Missy Elliott. I
Bro,
mean,
we didn't mention Timberland and Magoo.
Bro, Timberland. Oh my God.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah, complex.
Like that's how I know they don't know what they talking about. Timberland and Magoo didn't get mentioned. You talking about best rap, and you didn't say nothing about Black
also,
Star.
also going even back to the retro of like 80s, 90s, by the way. I don't know how you don't mention MC Hammer somehow, but that guy did kind of revolutionize some things. I'm just saying. But now that I think about it, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Some of these eras and decades don't make sense,
Yeah.
like at all.
Yep.
But, ladies and gentlemen, listen, this is part two of what's been a long, epic breakdown as much as we could do without trying to bore you to death. But we did what we could, and we're honestly disappointed in how this was completely chosen. And based off Derrick said, you just never know, people. You might get your own OTS Media Best Rapper Alive list.
Yeah.
We may have to
we're gonna
break
have
this
to.
down ourselves.
I think we're gonna have to. But I will say, uh, you're gonna be able to get a lot of this flair when fans comes back.
Good
Okay.
point.
And we have a huge announcement. Chris right here will now be the new host
Yo,
of
yo.
Fans, and we are going to be revamping the show, and it's going to be a lot different than what you guys are used to. Everybody's been asking me about Fans. I even got ridiculed on on it. you know hey, look, great things take time to develop, and the season that you guys watched with Fans, that was a test run to really see what we can do with it to make it better. And what we're going to do to make it better, we'll break it down to you guys even further at some other point. But one of the ways is that in between battles, This will actually be a podcast where Chris will be discussing different music elements, and that you can probably hear him discussing music today with a younger a fan, or old school
Yeah.
music. Like, you're gonna hear or an array of different topics on there. So you're gonna get um more of that breakdown with fans, from a fan's perspective. So I want to say welcome to the team. Appreciate you for
Appreciate
joining
you.
us, and you guys will be getting your battles too. So we're gonna be bringing out battles and episodes frequently. So the battles are gonna start off. We might take like 2 months before, between battles or whatnot, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna bring it back to you guys, and we're gonna do it in a way that is much better, much better. You guys will have a bigger voice as the audience, as to who wins which round. So I don't want to hear anyone saying anything else about this show being fixed, because I have specifically made it to where you guys can't say that. Okay.
Oh,
So any other complaints from here on out, you guys just want to talk and blow hot air. So we are doing this for you guys. I want you guys to have fun with the show, um, um, but also learn about different elements in music. So whatever you might not get here on Past the Aux, in terms of us breaking down different elements, there might be different perspectives that Chris has, that he'll discuss on fans. So be on the lookout. We should be having a battle coming to you guys. What is this? What are we in May? So
Mhm.
you
yeah.
should be having something before the beginning of the summer. So we want to hear from you guys. Want to know what battles you guys want to see. Please come and hit us up and let us know what you guys want to see on the show, and we will definitely get that going. Um, and if you're listening, Freddie, we still have not heard of anybody that you want to face with Future. So keep keep dreaming.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, dreaming is the perfect way to segue to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because we're dreamers. See what I
Yeah.
did there for you, dear?
Yes, sir.
We're dreamers.
Yeah.
Dreamville.
and if I can add to this, it's a perfect time to plug in my favorite artist, Dom Kennedy, and listen to "Dream to Me," where he beautifully samples Anita Baker. You will love that song, and it is absolutely wonderful. You can follow it up with listening to 125, baby. Guess what we up doing? You don't really die, my nigga. Ain't really that much to it.
There it is.
All right.
All right,
I'm
ladies
gonna
and
be on y'all
gentlemen.
heads with these lyrics.
Hey man, y'all, thank y'all so much for always tuning in and rocking with us, man, through part one and part two of what we broke down as, according to Complex, the best rapper alive, year by year. Therefore, if y'all have some comments, complaints, concerns, let us know if there was anyone we forgot to bring up that they also forgot to bring up. Leave y'all comments below. Let us know. Most importantly, rate, review. Please, please, please rate and review. Let us know how you like us, man. We appreciate y'all rocking with us, even when we have our long, lengthy episodes, man. Thank you for still rocking with us, giving us that honest feedback. And without you, none of this is possible. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come check it out right here, Past the Aux. Most importantly, interact with us. Let us know who you are, why you listen to us, and rate it so the show can continue to get traction for more and more listeners out there that want to know, what is Past the Aux? What is OTS Media Co? All these things. That being said, make sure you follow the brand at all things on social media at OTS Media Co. Trust me when I say you do not want to miss all the updates, news, and exciting posts that go on the daily, consistent basis. www.otsmediacode.com. Check out the articles, check out the shows, other shows that you can check out. Get to know us, the guests, and the hosts of all these dope shows that are right here under the OTS Media brand. That being said, it's your boy Dwayne. That's my guy Derrick, and of course, my guy Big C Rob, Chris Robinson, man. Until next time, y'all, we signing out. Peace.